Okay, well, welcome here to this live stream webcam broadcast, and this is an experiment to see how this all works. Um, what's that? Oh, I see. Hmm, I don't think I need that. Well, um, I don't know. I thought this was going to be a little different than it actually is. Um, I wanted to talk about my astrophotography YouTube channel. I'm a professional counselor and mental health therapist. If you tune in and watch videos on my channel, if you scroll down, you can see some videos in the past that I did where I discussed different concepts related to mental health, different types of therapy that I do, and different kinds of mental health diagnosis. And I describe in detail about those. Um, I haven't done those in a while because I've been focusing on my hobby, which is astrophotography. And I'm here to talk with those that watch either live or later on in replay about what kind of astrophotography I'm doing, what kind of equipment I use, what my goals are, what the goals of this channel are, um, who my audience is for this channel. So let's get started. First of all, um, I've been doing live streams for, I think I go back a couple of years at least. And during those live streams, you have used a variety of different telescopes. I can't share my screen here because I don't have enough viewers or subscribers. So I'm doing this to try and get people to view my videos, subscribe to my channel. Like a lot of astrophotographers, I'm working very hard at this hobby and want to share this hobby and what I'm doing with everyone. Recently, I was doing a live stream video. Currently, I'm using a Celestron travel scope, a 400 millimeter reflector with a f ratio of 6, which I gather is pretty good. I'm still learning this hobby. I'm still gaining knowledge. I watch videos almost every day to learn more. And as I'm sitting here thinking about what I want to say, I just want to tell my viewers that, number one, I appreciate every single one of you. I thank all of the people who view my videos, I thank with gratitude all of those that subscribe to this channel. And I really appreciate that you tune in. But I am trying to get more people to watch my videos. I am trying to get more subscribers, as everyone is always. And I'm struggling to do so, trying to figure that out too. Why I don't have the right algorithm or whatever it is that you need to get more viewers and thus create more subscribers and etc. I just want people to know that not everybody can afford to have thousands of dollars in equipment to do this hobby. For those of you that have those kind of telescopes and cameras and equipment, I say, hey, God bless you. Good for you. I think that's fantastic. I am not putting those people down in any way. I think it's wonderful. I think it's great. However, I think that there's a lot of people out there that, like me, have an interest in astronomy, but either A, they don't own a telescope, or B, they have a small telescope, maybe used it a few times, got frustrated with it, and don't use it anymore. Or you have a telescope and you're thinking that you'd like to get started in this hobby, but for whatever reason, you don't have a lot of cash on hand, a lot of extra spending money. You know, like all of us, we have to earn a living, we have to pay bills, we have to pay rent, we have to have our expenses taken care of, and we have certain amounts of money left over that we can spend on this, that, or the other thing. And when all of that has been taken care of, we might have a few extra bucks that we can put away for something cool like this kind of a hobby. And so I'm mostly addressing those of you that are in that category. Certainly those of you that have a fantastic telescopes and all the kind of equipment that's necessary to produce the kind of pictures and photos we see on YouTube and on other websites and Facebook and other social media sites. That's, if you're watching this video or you tune in or subscribe to my channel because you want to have give support to somebody like me, I think that's wonderful. Thank you. For the rest of you out there that are in the category that I just described, welcome. This is where you are totally welcome to be, to learn. I want to share my story with you, hoping that maybe you have a similar story and maybe this is something you could relate to. So I started my hobby about 3 years ago. To be exact, I think it was right around August 8th or 9th of 2020. You know, everybody was going through the pandemic at the time. We were all pretty bored, didn't know what to do with ourselves. And I had always had an interest in astronomy since I was a kid. I got a telescope when I was a kid and played around with it. But, you know, life took over and years went by. And before I knew it, it was quite a while, several decades, in fact, since those times when I first explored the science of astronomy. And so I decided that, well, I'll get a telescope and give it a try. And I'm going to have another video coming up where I can share my screen and show you some pictures and share more with you of what I've gone through and experienced over these last 3 years. So I started off with a telescope, a small little, I think it was 2 3/4 inch refractor from a company. And I don't want to give the name of the company because I was not impressed with the telescope at all. But it came with an adapter on it, so you could hook your phone up to it and hook the phone up to your eyepiece and take some pictures. And I thought, well, that might be pretty cool. Pretty cool. And I thought, well, I remembered back in the day, looking through the eyepiece and trying to, you know, get your eye to go up there and look through that eyepiece could be pretty frustrating, and especially to get a focus or whatever. So I thought, well, if I could get a picture to come up on the screen on my phone to look at something, then that would eliminate that problem. And so I'll do that. I'll try that. But excuse me, embarrassing during a live video. So I decided, what the heck, I might as well give it a shot, give it a try. And the very first time that I got the moon to focus while doing a video, you can hear me in the video almost crying. I was so excited. And that got me started. That got me going down the rabbit hole, as they say. And the next thing I knew, I was getting better telescopes, better equipment. I reached out to Celestron and got a bigger, better telescope. I got a Celestron Power Seeker 700 millimeter telescope with an EQ mount, and I bought my very first planetary camera, a ZWO ASI 120 MC-S camera, and attached it to the telescope, and I thought I was the god of astrophotography. But I discovered shortly that that's not working very well. You can't track anything. You have no way of keeping the stars from moving. Once I used Sharp Cap. I still use Sharp Cap to this day to, to do the astrophotography on, and couldn't get the stars to stop moving. As soon as I got up to about 800 milliseconds of exposure, anything more than that, and everything started turning into lines, and it became quite a mess. And I was very limited with what I could shoot. But I didn't have money. Couldn't do anything else. I was stuck. Some of you that are early on in this hobby might be like me in that position where you got a small telescope, could only afford a small camera, a planetary camera. And so like me, you're sort of stuck. And that's okay. And then I got the idea, because I had purchased a Celestron travel scope with the idea of, hey, I can take this with me someplace, right? And of course, the whole internet was saying that both these scopes were kids' toys, and mocking what I had, and it was a pretty low feeling because it was all I could afford, even as an adult. That's all I could afford. I don't think it's fair to mock people or get on people's case because they have a low budget and can only afford a little bit of this and that. That's not fair. That's not right. Well, anyway, so I decided, what the heck, I'm going to give it a shot. And I put my planetary camera in the eyepiece of that travel scope. And of course, even with the aid of the camera, pictures of planets with that scope are terrible. Other than Jupiter and its 4 moons, you really can't see anything. Saturn doesn't look like much of anything. And so, again, frustrated. But I decided one night to fool around and just sort of tool around in the night sky, see what I could find. I was able to find the brighter stars of the night sky and get them focused in my telescope on the preview screen on Sharp Cap and noticed some pretty cool things, like Regulus has a little companion star. I call it a companion star. That's sort of an orange star that travels along wherever Regulus goes. It's there with it, right with it. And some of the other stars in the constellation of Leo also have these little, what I call companion stars. And I was having a little bit of fun for the first time, but still frustrated that I couldn't really see or get much of anything else. Until one night, on a warm, humid summer evening, I was out with my telescope and focused it to the south, pointed it to the south. And to my pleasant, shocking surprise, I started getting all these stars coming in there. I got a video here on my channel. It's called Stars Raining In. And that's what it looked like, because they were just raining on that preview screen on Sharp Cap, and I was just amazed. I found out later on that I was looking at Messier M24, open star cluster in stellarium that they call a star cloud. And I was just thrilled, absolutely thrilled. I couldn't believe it. So I started to just manually use that telescope and use stellarium to figure out where I was in the night sky and move it around. And I was able to start taking some pictures and capturing Messier objects for the very first time. I mean, this was fantastic. And to make a long story short, I was able to get pictures. Well, I have to backpedal, because I just recalled I did use that same telescope to capture the Orion Nebula M42, and I got a picture of it right up here. That's taken with that telescope. This is a picture of the moon with a green filter on it that came with one of my telescopes. So I did get M42. I did get some pictures of the Pleiades M45 earlier in the winter and early spring. And also in the springtime, I managed to find M44, the Beehive cluster, and got a photograph of that. But that was about all. Okay. But as I went through the summer, I was able to capture M24, M25, M18, M6, M8, the Lagoon Nebula. There's no nebula in my pictures because I don't have the ability to do long exposures, but I got the star cluster that's in there and a few others. And it was a summer I'll never forget, and a lot of fun, all taken with a kid's telescope. It was fantastic. But so unsatisfactory. As fall fell upon us, I got out the power seeker again, got a 2x Barlow lens on there, and started taking some pictures of Jupiter and Saturn. Got some pretty good results, pretty decent results. And then Mars came into opposition, but I wanted something that was going to produce even better pictures of these planets. So I broke down, pulled out my piggy bank, broke it, and got enough money together to buy a Celestron Nexstar 4SE telescope that's computerized and motorized and could track the night sky, objects in the night sky, and all those cool things that I had watched everybody else do and was so envious of. And so I began taking pictures in November of 2022 of the planets, Jupiter, Saturn. Got some good focus, got some fantastic pictures. And I'm going to share some of those with you. In fact, I have a video where I do share some pictures from that telescope. You can watch it here on my YouTube channel. And I've been messing around with it ever since. So far, I figure, including the telescopes that I've purchased, the laptop computer I had to purchase, the camera that I got, and the all together, I'd say I'd spend somewhere around $1,000 total, maybe $1,200 at the most, and that's over a 3-year period. I still think that I am a low budget, a low budget astrophotographer, because I'm obviously need a lot more equipment, better cameras, wider field of views, and all kinds of things. But I'm getting older. Believe it or not, I'm going to be 60 here in just a couple of weeks away. And the body is breaking down. I have a lot of issues with my body, my muscles, my back. And it's getting really hard to go out there and drag the equipment out and get up to the viewfinder and do all the things that I need to do to take pictures. So now I'm thinking that maybe I would get myself a different kind of telescope. Anyways, so that's it. That's the purpose of this channel. I see nobody tuned in. That's typical. Maybe someday people will. Okay. Bye-bye.